4 minutes on a giant map, and here the HRE are piling into your base. What a familiar sight. I've never seen this before. These dirty boys are at it again. One and all, welcome back to the Age of Empires for Actions, the $1,000 4v4 tournament here. We've got a full Chinese stack going up against a full Czech stack. Not something you say every day, and also a familiar sight here, actually. You guys might be familiar with BLB from Team Devils. I didn't actually realize he was Czech. I thought actually Devils was like a full NA stack. So really cool one here. For those that don't know what this tournament is, it's a $1,000 tournament organized by Clearman, one of the Vietnamese casters and hosts. He's brought together a bunch of teams. You're able to have double nationality in your team, as in you can have 2 different nationalities make it up. But funnily enough, we have a full Czech stack, we have a full Chinese stack. We have a lot of full stacks. We even had like a full Polish stack, which was impressive considering 2 of their players rank in like the top 100. Things you just don't know. What I was a bit bummed out about with this tournament, by the way, is the fact that there wasn't a German stack. Because I think if you were to take the average ELOs, Germany has like one of the highest, right? Most definitely. Do you know that KP was sponsored by Red Bull? I'm not, mate. Otherwise, you'd probably see a Red Bull icon everywhere. Would love to be. Actually really rate the brand highly. But no. You were long ago. Huh? Well, professional heckler is being a professional heckler, just maybe not good at it. Your fridge and whatnot? Dude, I've never had a fridge. I think you're getting me and Drongo mixed up, which I guess to someone who's really like detached from accents, I could understand the confusion between an English and an Australian accent. But like, I didn't have a mini fridge. Drongo did though. You guys know that you legally can't buy those, by the way. People who have them that aren't athletes bought them on the secondary market. Fun little facts. Anyway, we are on Mongolian Heights. We have got the walls going up. Liu's in pretty good position so far, right? They got the good harassment in from Lao Tang on the HRE. They've got fishing set up by the Japanese player over here. And then they've also got fishing set up by the Ayyubid player. Now, we've actually seen fishing feel underwhelming in this map. So don't write the Czech boys off as dead, because there's been plenty of circumstances where just TC booming is more valuable. If this was deep water fish, you could argue fishing is worth it. But with this shoreline, it's debatable. I find shoreline works a lot more if you're playing around a specific timing. What Devils means then? I haven't got a clue. BLB means... Wait, does it really? I'm going to check that, because I work with a Czech influencer. But yeah, kind of interesting to see Byzantines coming out, actually. Wait, is this the first time we've had Byzantines in this tournament? I think there was one other game of them. It's kind of funny how OP they are in 1v1s, but how kind of underwhelming they are in team games, right? In team games, you want Cav Civs. I think of the non-Cav Civs, English has been the most consistently appearing one because they're just a lot safer to play 2TC. And they also can provide that king to provide the healing. The weird part in this game to me is that Till Lindemann did not do that. He went for the Council Hall, and I think I've been quite vocal about my opinions with the Council Hall. I don't rate it at all in team games. I think it's a wasted investment. You know, the reality is when you've got allies that have cavalry, building the king allows you to help them because the king can heal them. Meanwhile, Lombos is kind of more selfish, but you don't really want to build Lombos, right? You just want to go 2TC, hunker down. And I would say, in terms of defensive formatting, Abbey of Kings gives you a lot more than Council Hall. Because yes, you can rush castle and get crossbows out quickly, but in fairness, if you go for an Abbey of Kings and you play into a few early spears, you can cycle them in and out to heal with the Abbey of Kings. Wait, we have trade? Oh my god. What? Oh, dude. The French player is trading pre-10 minutes. This is very unusual, folks. Typically, the French player does this around 15 minutes when the game has passed the early phase where their knights are truly impactful. But these guys have legit just walled up and straight on gone for it. That's crazy. What's crazier as well is, like, why did he choose the House of Wisdom over the neutral trade post? I guess he doesn't want to reveal that he's trading. And if you go here, it does have a risk. Because the thing is, they've walled all the passes. So, like, now you could trade with impunity. Right? Like, BLB has one knight over here, and I believe that's the only thing from their team. Yeah, like, they haven't even scouted out all the bases yet. Oh, but he just scouted the Chamber of Commerce. Yeah, the problem is he doesn't have a knight anymore. One more shot. And the scout sure as hell isn't going to kill anything. Still wondering about the blue name? Yeah, I'm not sure. In before I'm showing things that should be censored on screen. And wait, we have mirrored trade. BLB's doing the same. But I'm pretty sure BLB's is reactionary, right? Yeah, he hasn't set up traders yet. QF in the meantime, just stand for quick force here because he's got the numbers. He's able to brute force in. Good cycle charge initially coming in from purple and good return fire there from BLB. He will have the defender's advantage, which means purple's going to have to back up. In the meantime, on the west side, we've got pressure from Dakin. That's kind of different, actually. Desert Raiders plus the Horsemen. We've typically just been seeing Desert Raider spam. Just covering all the bases in case. And this diving could be big. The Greasy trying to rush up the outpost defense. A bit of a miss micro. There's Orange. Unnecessarily diving instead of targeting down the nearby villages. Some will be able to garrison. Others are going to end up sacrifice, though. And able to also intercept the Prelates. So, good dive here. Orange has enough troops left here that he'll block the return of relics, but he also gets some eco kills on top of it, which is really important at this stage. You can already see how much blue is suffering at 32 villages only. Oof. So what is the play out of this hole right now for the east side team? We've got King's Pass coming in, so the typical grade from the English. Byzantine's already played 2 TC. They might honestly need a third. You're going to need to rush in on blue, so pretty much BLB has to carry the entire team. They'll eventually help him out, but like, who's going to help now is the bigger issue I see. And this is your atypical French game, right? Where I think we've seen a lot of teams try to overload their French player to carry as much as they can. And he's getting punished for it. No reaction from BLB there. Villagers go down. He's down to 36 economy in this game. He has the same military as the purple French player, but 20 less economy. God, this is getting ugly. Also, wasted effort here, right? He's got about 8 knights chasing after 2 knights. That difference is opening the floodgate for this second wave to come in and hit his true economy. Green behind this. About to complete the age up. Should be able to at least do it before the purple knights find him, but the problem I'm seeing is we talked about this whole idea, the French player carrying the baton in the early game. Right now, that baton has been snatched off of him, and he's being clubbed around the face with it. Must be some ping issue. BLB's a solid player. I think he's just distracted, guys. Like, the size of this game, the things that are going on, he's getting outplayed. There's a risk that they could be playing on the Indian server, which I'm really hoping they aren't, because that is a thing that all of them should know to avoid. But if that's the case, they're all playing with ping, by the way. Because for those that don't know, typically when you've got European players versus Asian players in tournaments, most of them just use American servers as a middle point because the Indian server is absolutely atrocious. I'm hoping that they just all have a lot of ping and they didn't use the Indian server because that would be a nightmare. Orange just does so much work over here. Wait, am I really seeing an HRE player trading? What is this game? Oh no. You know it's going bad when you've just gone in-page, you've got past the Swabia, and you still need to build traders. And for good reason, right? He's only got 2 relics. Pretty grim situation. Trade on the other side, by the way. QF is loving life, man. He's up to 16 traders already. Why is the Indian server trash? There aren't that many players from India. Maybe that's the problem. Maybe they just basically hired out someone's mother's Windows 98 server to run the servers. I'm like, not many people in India play here. We don't need like high infrastructure. That's fine. So how do you crawl out of this hole as the Bohemian Bros? Well, survival first is key, right? Like, you're going to have to buffer and weather quite the painful storm. Negrici needs to become a real threat. Yellow needs about another 5 minutes. Blue needs about another game. And green probably needs about 10 minutes. Yeah, I'm sorry. BLB is like, he's a non-factor in this game. If you guys thought Deniskia's game earlier was painful to watch, this is worse. This is so much worse. Because at least in that game, both French players were kind of in a weird position, right? Whereas in this one, you know, the player is booming while also out-aggroing you. What games are popular in India? Garena Free Fire. India is an absolute jackpot for mobile games. So what's probably happening here is they're probably overloading the Age of Empires online servers in India. Wait, that doesn't... Oh, wait. That excuse would only work if the issues only came up recently. Yeah, for those that don't know, the Indian market is mainly mobile gaming. It's huge. Like, Arena Free Fire has something like 150 million players. And really only India plays Garena Free Fire. Onimusha now. I quite like this comp from G. I like the fact that he began with the Mat Samurai, considering what they were up against. Understood that there wasn't really many heavy cav units to address. Like, this is a really cool pivot. Usually, players will just kind of get stuck in their ways, and they know they're meant to build Onimusha, so they do it anyway. What G done in this game is he looked and went, French player kind of just got dumpstered. Doesn't really have anything left. Why would I ever waste time building Onimusha straight away? God, the trickle of troops from yellow as well. This is the pain we talked about with English, when you have to run across the map. It's why I've been a really big fan of this idea that these hunkered down civs, infantry civs, should be in the center. The problem is, if you look at the east side team, they have 3 infantry civs. So, like, they couldn't easily format this, right? Whereas, when you look at the south side team, you can, I think you can semi-control the spawns on Mongolian Heights. It's still a bit wonky, but they have one of their infantry players in the center. Then they have another one that's kind of hybridized. Like, usually it's going to be Cav, though. And on the flanks, they have a Cav Civ and a Cav Civ. This is such a better formation. Normally 4v4 is all Cav. Not true. A lot of the formats are 3 Cav and then 1 infantry. Because, like, the premium of infantry pays off eventually. And you can hybridize that, right? You can still go for Cav and then switch over later. For example, China. China will open Lancers and eventually get hand cannoneers and win the game. Because hand cannoneers are good. Right? For the Byzantines, it's meant to be eventually getting Streltsy. Maybe Lombos. English, it's meant to be about getting these chunky men-at-arms that flood non-stop. And hand cannoneers can scale behind that as well. And then for Japan, Japan's actually the coolest. Like, I find the dynamics of Japanese in team games one of the most intriguing. They start with Onimusha, and then they pivot to hand cannoneers. They always play the backline, though, which is very different to anything you'll see in 1v1s, because obviously you have to be your own front line, and Japan always goes Mount Samurai into eventual Onobugisha Samurai, right? So you're pretty much in a team environment playing the absolute opposite units of what you play in a 1v1. Right, wall-up attempts are not going to work out here. Bohemian Bros, it's just running around, man. It's like these guys are skipping arm day because they can't fight, and they've got so much leg day going on that it's going to be completely disproportionate, right? They're going to have smother me thighs and gamer biceps. Good God. Knock at the door here. G looking to play. And that's a very scary position to have your economy for blue. Breaking the wall. Sacred sites have also been locked in for the Liu Tao squad. Secondary wave coming in. It looks like orange and pink are about to get backstabbed. They may need to consider backing out of this, as the spearmen do show up from both yellow and green. But the Mat Samurai, they sneak around the side. Onto the backline of Lombos. The reaction a little bit slow here. Till Lindman finally reacting to it with the spearman pull. The Lombos, we had to dive deeper. Look at that trade with the backline on the Onimusha. Blue also with Elite Knights able to hold, so this is not going to kill them. The Bohemian Bros say no. Meanwhile, Liu Tao says, oh yes, QF now on the way up with the Red Palace. The grandest of knights soon to hit the battlefield. Lao Tang also now with the forward base. Love this. The Raxes and the archery ranges. He's bringing that premium to the fight. We talked about this infantry immobility. Now he's going to have that ability to stab into the center of these 2 infantry comps, right? And intercept them as they arrive to assist each other. Okay, thank you, Arakan. So, yeah, Zardes is Lindemann, and then KEKW is Mabos. I will nod as if these names are familiar in the 1v1 sphere. I know they do very well in the team games, right? Devils is like always towards the top of the team ranks. Guys, we have the nightmare coming. I've seen it so many times. Carracks are just so oppressive when you have water control on this map. We at least have a small breakthrough. Some knights snuck in, but there's a few knights. I shouldn't laugh, dude. He's had a hard game. This is brutal. When he discovers just how much trade there is back here. Guys, put a number out there. How many trades do you think QF has? The numbers are actually quite easy, guys. Like, there's only 2 people trading in this game. Actually, that's not true. There's a few traders unaccounted for. 70 traders total, 59 of them belong to QF. And then on the other side, I think all of them belong to BRB. Yeah, 28 traders. Oh, God. Was 28. These French Knights, they haven't really done anything, right? They've just been running around. They've never been able to stop. So nothing really achieved with that. So these 3 players in Imperial Age for the Bohemian Bros, but I'm just still not seeing that present threat. KEKW's trying to convince me, though. I pushed out the elite longbows. They have intercepted the forward base of Lao Tang here. Okay, so actually, weirdly enough, BLB is doing a lot. Although he may not be killing economy here, he's given breathing room. This reaction is overly ambitious from Pink. He spent way too much military force here, about a third, chasing down a handful of knights. That being said, we do still have an issue in the center here, right? Although they're starting to get rid of this forward base, we're talking about Carracks that should be able to prevent you. On top of that, there's still a crap ton of pings going on at the back here, where purple keeps shuffling in knights. Oy. Could it be enough? I mean, it's a good start, right? I don't want to mitigate what they've done there. That save from BLB, for a guy who has, like, nothing, he just done a lot with a bum hand, right? He just all-ined with 2-8 and somehow got someone to fold jacks. It's pretty impressive. However, what concerns me is the follow-up. Tanagashi Gunsmith is now on the way. Dekin is probably teching as well. Yep, already underway with the growth wing. And oh my god, we're going to see it. It rarely comes out, actually, these days. But that is indeed the Imperial growth wing, which essentially turns you into kind of a light version of the Abbasids. Remember, you have a worse Golden Age, but this makes it like a better Golden Age, right? It's like having 20% Golden Age instead. So it catches up. You're still behind on other things. You don't have the agriculture tech. You don't have improved processing. But this is kind of like a median ground between your average Ayyubid player and an Abbasid economy in the late game. Yeah, pretty cool play. Mass Knights coming in, Nigris. A little bit surprised he's not playing into Men at Arms here, especially into Desert Raiders. Well, Desert Raiders and Spears, which makes it even worse. Easily he's going to trade well here. Weirdly enough, without the biology as well. I'm a bit surprised by that. We have to remember that Dekin doesn't really have much of an army here. A bit gluttonous in his positioning. He's going to be shoved back. In the center, though, it looks like Green has been forced to retreat. Teal's secondary wave has arrived, assisted by Purple. And it feels like they have retained control of the west side of the map, but now forfeiting down the center, and a big wave on the way as QF is sending the rapid response force here. Mass Knights non-stop pumping. Oh boy. And not just any Mass Knights, folks. Those are elite Royal Knights up against the Rangers. Yellow, he's been queuing these up for ages. They completely get caught out of position here. So we'll look to run away, but he's not going to have many left over. In fact, there's a second wave that could just sandwich him right now. So all Rangers are going to go down. And remember, those take a very long time to accrue. The west side, new wave has arrived. Yes, he wins the fight against Orange, but he is helpless in the face of the double team here. The rapid cav response. Pink is in. Wolves aren't going to go up in time. The cannon emplacements might be able to at least scare here. Scaring is not going to be enough. They need to find a way of doing damage to the enemy economy, because at this rate, they're just going to lose ground. You're seeing it already on the minimap. Where we were before was kind of more towards the center. Now it's all the way back here. These deeper and deeper dives worry me, and QF is once again on it. BLB, the man that they might try to have faith in. You only have faith in someone who's still alive in this world. We're not about to start a BLB religion over here. These Knights are about to creep in again, guys. Wall goes down. Opening comes through. He'll happily welcome it. And of course, there's no Red Palace, so no Obelisk emplacements, no threat against these 364 HP Knights. QF is about to send BLB to the afterlife. Man, he has nothing to work with here. 15 military versus 58. Second wave of Spearman's coming, great, but the reality is these Knights are in. They don't need to slow down for you. And they're not just in on one location, they're in on multiple locations. Yeah, this is why if I play team games, I would rather always be a Cav Civ. You're seeing it, right? And I think that also fits the picture of why Japan is so good in team environments. It's because they get a ranged and a melee unit in Cav, right? Most Civs only get a melee unit. Not only that, but they also get the Uma Bannerman, which buffs both of them. And I've already talked about why Uma Bannermans, like the Bannerman effects are actually quite wild when you think about them, especially in Cav, because every other Civ almost in the game, their Unitech only gives them health. This isn't even Unitech. This is just something you get by building a Bannerman, by naturally scaling your TCs. So you're essentially getting Elite Army Tactics if you think about it, right? Elite Army Tactics is 20%, this is 15. It's close enough, especially when you add in the fact that you get an extra melee tech level. And then, of course, Incendiary Arrows on top of that. Yeah, you can see the picture I'm painting here. This comp is sick. Vile, even, I might say. Oh, this is looking nasty. Knights catching everything that BLB has been building up. Just a few of them baiting him away while the rest harvest the organs of these traders. Again, now with the diving deep, I think this time he's going to look to shuffle to that backline economy. There's just not really much there for Blue to defend with. Torches are out to try and take down the outpost, but difficult with that extra firearm. Remember, 8 of the damage being removed through 20 torch. And what could they have done different in this game? I think for the Bohemian Bros, the really big tricky part is that BLB, he kind of got thrown under a bus. He had too much to do on his own, too much greed from the east side, right? You can't really often get away with 3 players greeding. Usually it's like 2 players have to aggro, 2 can greed. Sometimes it has to be 1 greeding. Depends on if you're going for a timing attack, but these guys built 2 TC on the Biz, 3 TC on the English, and fast imped on the HRE. What was BLB ever meant to do with this? He might be high ranked on the team ladder, but even the best have their limitations. And his were truly stretched thin. Looks like they're just getting ready to process and GG it out. There we go. The surrender comes over. So game 1 going to the Chinese boys. Hopefully the Bohemians learn from this and look for aggro, because this type of unparalleled greed is not going to get by a talented team like Liu Tao.